Chuck Norris stars in Chuck Norris Karate Commandos.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday at the Tidarium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. This is a really small toy line based on an old cartoon that was even smaller than the toy line. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to go in depth. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Coming up. So, the Chuck Norris Karate Commando toy line was based off of a cartoon that was an okay cartoon, I guess, but I don't even remember it. Let me just say, I don't even remember the cartoon existing. I don't know why I didn't see the 5 episodes that they made, but it's kind of cool. The cartoon's okay. You can order it on Amazon, and I'll link that down below. It's only like $10 to get the DVD and to watch all 5 episodes. But the really cool part it left behind was Kenner. Kenner made these toys and they look really good. But I can't help but feel like this whole Chuck Norris thing was based off the Chuck Norris movies. And my favorite movie was The Lone Wolf McQuade. But getting into these toys, let's take a look at them. So this toy line consists of a total of 10 figures, 3 of which are Chuck Norris figures, and the Chuck Norris Corvette. That's pretty much all they made. That's all Kenner made, and they all have action features, which are pluses and minuses, and I think there's more minuses to the action features than the pluses, but we're going to look at each one of these figures, then we're going to take a look at the Corvette. The first Chuck Norris figure we're going to take a look at here is the Kung Fu training one, and this figure here has the Dragon Whip back kick action. So we're going to look at the action of it. We're going to look at this figure, but as you can see, this figure struggles to stand on his own. So that's one really big problem with the toy line, is a handful of them struggle to stand on their own because of the action feature. So getting this guy to stand is a pain. Now I can make him stand on my display using some tricks. Now looking at this guy, he does look okay. It looks like Chuck Norris. The head sculpt looks good. And it does resemble Chuck. It works out. He's got some sort of a white pants and a vest. So there it is. I don't know exactly what you call this weapon he comes with. And then he has this little kicking dagger. It's kind of cool. But let's see this gimmick here and how it works. You basically push in on this and make him do his kick. His back kick, front kick. So there it is. Now you can push down on the table. There we go. That's what it is. Now for that action, he doesn't stand up. You can mess around with it till you get him to stand, but I think the drawback to this, I don't know if it's worth it. But he does have some articulation in the elbows and the shoulders and his head. But yeah, that's about all you get. Let's look at the next one. So we can actually look at this one with a bit of a better angle because he'll stand on his own, so that looks kind of good. But this one here, this is the Chuck Norris Battle Gear. Here it comes with this strap, which is kind of hard to find, and he also comes with this big old weapon here. It's kind of like a bow weapon, but it has this pitchfork looking thing at the end. He also comes with this weapon here, which I tried to look up all the official names for all the weapons. I'm not sure what that thing's called, but it's pretty cool too. It flops around. But this weapon actually works really well for his gimmick. Here he is from the behind, the back of him. And it looks cool. This really feels like a Chuck Norris. Like this looks like something Chuck Norris might actually wear on his own. No shirt on and just got some pants or something. But let's look at his action feature. So if you were to squeeze his legs together, his arms move. And they flail around really well. You can, of course, adjust his arms however you want to get more of an action feature. If you want to do that. Attack, attack. I don't really see this doing a whole lot. I guess you should demonstrate it with another figure. Norris! Lots of fun. So the next Chuck Norris is the Undercover Agent Chuck Norris, which comes with these 2 weapons that can combine together to make one big weapon. I think it does look really good. I mean, this is exactly what Chuck Norris would wear on a daily basis, just some sort of jeans and maybe a vest or something. So really, I could see this Chuck Norris in a movie, in one of his movies. And so this is probably the coolest looking or the more accurate looking of the three, and I like it. So anyway, getting into it, let's take a quick look at the back, and then we'll look at the action feature on this guy. So the action feature on this is strange. It's you roll this around, and then without your fingers getting in the way, you push his arm down and you get it to spin around. So that's interesting. And it's funny because a lot of these action features like won't work in some of the figures, and there's no way to fix them. So getting them that work is pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. And this action feature doesn't affect the way he stands or any articulation really. So it's a pretty good figure. I think one of the better figures in the toy line, simply because the action feature doesn't get in the way. Next up we have Toby or Tabe, Tabe, and this is kind of a sumo wrestler looking guy, and it's pretty interesting what his action feature is. It's like he plays in the marching band, and he claps together, whatever. But he's a big dude. He's the biggest figure in the toy line, and he comes with this detachable front piece, and it's kind of strange. It's really a strange looking figure because he's so big, and it's hard to make him stand. His action feature and his size and him holding up these big old things, hard to make stand. It says "C in" for Chuck Norris on his piece right there, but let's see what he does to Super Ninja. So let's angle these just right and sneak up on Super Ninja, and boom. Yeah, well, not that exciting actually, but it's what it does. So I think he's an interesting kind of figure, character, very unique type of a toy. I just never really seen anything quite like it, and so it's something that sets the toy line apart. Next up we have Chemo. Now, this is a really common figure, probably the most common figure out there, but he's got a really cool feature. He has a built-in sword sheath, and his sword can be held, I guess either way, on his person, and so you're not going to lose the sheath. All you need to do is keep track of your sword, and a lot of different swords would probably fit in there too. But that is kind of cool. He's got this, I don't know what this weapon's called. It looks like a fan, but it's a weapon. And I see a lot of them. Some of them have a yellow dot in here, and some of them don't have the yellow. So I don't know if that's just got rubbed off, or some factory prints just never got the yellow paint in there, because it's just strange how some have it and some don't. But he has a pretty cool costume here. It says Chuck Norris on his back. That's interesting on his vest there. But looking at this, he does have a feature. So his feature, let's move his arm up so we can fully utilize his feature. This is called the Shogun sidearm thrust. Shogun sidearm thrust action. Okay, so let's see what he does. You squeeze the legs together and he goes wham. Wha, 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 wha. Yeah, that's effective, but it sort of renders this right arm useless for anything else other than this. Next up we have Reed Smith, which is Chuck Norris's teenage apprentice kind of character, and he looks kind of interesting. This is another really common figure because sort of just out of place. I mean, a lot of people know who Chuck Norris is. Nobody really knows who Reed Smith is, but there he is. He also comes with this really interesting weapon, and I'm going to detach it here so that we can talk about it. Let's see if he can stand. I kind of use his weapon to help him stand, but looking at his weapon, it turns into two different weapons. So there's that, but you can slide them back together and make it back into his one big weapon, which is kind of cool. Now let's look at his action feature. So when you squeeze his arms together, he has the double flying falcon kick, and it does this. But then again, he struggles to stand because of it, so sort of a fail. So next up, we're going to get into the Ninja Warriors. Now, there's two different color variations of Ninja Warrior, and there is the one in the black and the one in the red, and they both come with the same accessories, this knife sword and this, whatever, this sort of half nunchuck and half ninja star. For some reason, this one I grabbed has the two nunchuck pieces, and I think I was trying to get them like both arms to do something with that. But anyway, this will just come with a red knife And that's how it's supposed to work. Now again, these are, you struggle to get them to stand. Here, let's get it to stand. This one struggles to stand because of the strange pose he's in, not because of the action feature. But looking at them, they do look the same, just recolored. And of course, they're saving money on the bad guys, and you can't have too many ninjas. So this is one of the figures that, you know, you really don't want 3 of the same type of Chuck Norris, but you'd maybe want 3 ninjas because they just look cool. Having a bunch of ninjas attack seems like something that you'd want on your shelf. Red Ninja stands better than the other ninja. If I can get this action function to work. Fail. Try it again. Try it again. Alright, trying it again. Alright, let's try it on this one. This is what it's supposed to do. Finally found one that worked. Sorta. Here it goes. There it is. That's what it's supposed to do. For future reference, you gotta wind it backwards. And then it would go. There it is. Guess I could have just grabbed Red Ninja and said, show them how it's done. Last figure we have to discuss here is the Super Ninja and the Recolor Super Ninja, which is, I believe they call the Recolor Super Ninja the Serpent. But either way, it's 2 Super Ninjas that look way different. And since I'm just so used to seeing that, I didn't even know they made this guy. I didn't know they repainted him to this guy. I never even saw him in the store. I think he looks really cool. That is a cool looking repaint, and they didn't have to change anything about the toy. Not even the weapon. The weapons are exactly the same, just colored different. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of cool. Tracking down the weapons is not too hard, but I think it's kind of necessary for it to look good. The 2 weapons that come with it. So one of the weapons is a really cool looking sword with an awesome hilt. And then he has it's kind of like the other Chuck Norris. He has this kicking blade, but he's got a quadra kicking blade. And it comes into, it's handy with his kicking action. So let's see if he can take out Chuck Norris. I knocked you down, Chuck Norris. The last little bit of fun we're going to have here is with the Chuck Norris Corvette. I think this is a really cool toy, a really cool part of the whole world. It actually was in the show. It's got great paint. It's got some stickers for the steering wheel. I like that steering wheel, like a race car kind of steering wheel. It's only supposed to come with 6 of these, but I bought up a few lots and I have some extras. And there's a spot to stick in at least 12, maybe 14. So why not, you know? Why not? So sounds like fun. And we'll show that feature here in a little while. And then from the side, I do see a lot of these that have this paint. This paint is worn off, and I wanted to get one that had really good paint on it. And so I really like the paint on this. I think it looks really good. Down to I think this is a ZR1 style of Corvette. It's a cool looking Corvette. I like it. The rims match. They kind of got that gold to it. Really nice looking. Let's show you a couple of the features though. First off, when you push down on this, you're going to, it's got a blade that comes out, or like kind of like a sword or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. And then another feature is, and now mine doesn't work as well on this, but it still works. When you push down on this, the back part comes out, and it does show this in the cartoon a bit from the back. So that pops out, but it seems like I gotta do each separately. But that's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. It'd be kind of a fun play game to see if you can knock your figures down if you set them up like that. Now for the rear catapult. It comes with 6 different types of spinning discs, I guess you could say. So those look like the same. Which one am I missing that's different? So it looks like we actually have like 7 different types of spinning blades. So I guess it really doesn't matter. I've got some extras, so it's not a big deal. But what you do is you put them on this catapult piece here, and you pull the lever out, and you catapult it right at the screen. Wait a second, I think I lost one. What really drives me nuts about this catapult section is how, if you can see, there's 6 slots, 7, 8, 9, there's 3, so that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 slots to store these. So I don't really understand why there's so many slots, unless it originally came with 14, but I thought it only came with 6, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know. I don't have a new one in the box. Maybe somebody else knows. They can leave that in the comments. Next thing I want to talk about is how affordable these toys are. These are some of the most affordable toys from the 80s. During this time that 80s toys have jumped through the roof, I think these are still very reasonably priced. Of course, you're going to pay more if you get them complete, pay more for accessories, but that's how it is with every toy line. But even complete with accessories, you can probably get a whole set for about $200 versus other toy lines that you'd be spending $200 on one figure. So it's kind of a budget option if you want to capture a piece of your childhood. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the Chuck Norris Karate Commandos and all of the figures and the one vehicle. And let me know what you think about these in the comments below. Did you have these? Do you still have some today? Like, subscribe to Dear Banger out.